to Cognitions Speaking the Unspeakable with JP.
And Stacy.
The D, what? Okay, I gotta interrupt this intro for just a minute. Stacy D, what's wrong?
I just want to do my disclaimer. I don't know. I've been sick for a few days, and this is actually my second day of not having a voice. I mean, I've been drinking the honey tea, the green tea. I don't mess with my Danny girl because she been and gave me something really holistic, and I'll be in the hospital, broke out. So I've been doing my own little things, and I do feel better. I just don't sound right. So my disclaimer is, if I'm talking and my cough drop pop out, I really was raised right. But, you know, we get to talking and everything, and I get excited. The cough drop may fall out. And I am going to be drinking a little bit more too, you guys, because my throat is really dry. I sound like a man.
You know I'm gonna say something if a cough drop come flying out your mouth, right?
We're gonna hope it don't though.
I don't believe in trying to hide the obvious. I'll be like, what just flew out your mouth, Stacy D?
That cherry cough drop.
Okay, I got one question. Can you taste your food?
I don't have no COVID. I called into the doctor to get a doctor's appointment, and it took like 3 hours for someone to call me back to get an appointment, because I've been with my doctor since he came out of med school, right? So I'm like VIP, because I got a special nurse I called, and he got me in that day, but I had to clown him like,
hello and welcome to Cognitions Speaking the Unspeakable with JP.
And Stacy.
The D, what? Okay, I gotta interrupt this intro for just a minute. Stacy D, what's wrong?
I just want to do my disclaimer. I don't know. I've been sick for a few days, and this is actually my second day of not having a voice. I mean, I've been drinking the honey tea, the green tea. I don't mess with my Danny girl because she been and gave me something really holistic, and I'll be in the hospital, broke out. So I've been doing my own little things, and I do feel better. I just don't sound right. So my disclaimer is, if I'm talking and my cough drop pop out, I really was raised right. But, you know, we get to talking and everything, and I get excited. The cough drop may fall out, and I am going to be drinking a little bit more too, you guys, because my throat is really dry. I sound like a man.
You know I'm gonna say something if a cough drop come flying out your mouth, right?
We're gonna hope it don't though.
I don't believe in trying to hide the obvious. I'll be like, what just flew out your mouth, Stacy D?
That cherry cough drop.
Okay, I got one question. Can you taste your food?
I don't have no COVID. I called into the doctor to get a doctor's appointment, and it took like 3 hours for someone to call me back to get an appointment, because I've been with my doctor since he came out of med school, right? So I'm like VIP, because I got a special nurse I called, and he got me in that day, but I had to clown him like, just because people sick, they don't have COVID. I'm an asthmatic. I have real strong, I'm allergic to everything. Tell them, Gerald, there's restaurants we can't even go to because I go into an asthma attack by just smelling it.
It don't make no sense.
It almost came out.
I'm waiting on it to fly out. You are not going to make it through this show without something flying out your mouth. And I'm so waiting. I mean, we doing full on bloopers and outtakes today, okay? They already been listening to us for 10 minutes before we started.
Yeah, they really have. Mr. Walker, wait a minute. So we got Mr. Walker. Y'all not been giving Mr. Walker a hard time, right? So he done brought in the professor.
The professor's in the house. Professor Smooth Jazz.
but the professor's not helping much. So we can leave the professor at home next week.
The professor is not helping at all.
He was talking about, I didn't know he was on Zoom.
Okay. Coming up on the show, our question of the day today is, how can I have all the symptoms of major depressive disorder, but still not have the diagnosis? So that question of the day is coming up. It kind of builds on the show that we did. It was 2-3 shows ago, because the D, she's been gone.
I know.
And so we had to do, this is follow-up, because in that show on depression, what the question was, can a person have depression without having the symptom of sadness? And we answered that by saying, yes. In place of sadness, a person can have irritability or anhedonia, which is a loss of interest or pleasure in things that one would typically enjoy. So we answered that question. So now, for those of you who followed along and listed all your symptoms as we went over them, and at the end of the show, I was saying, just because you have all the symptoms of depression, which is technically major depressive disorder, there is still another diagnosis that you may have. You still may not have that diagnosis. So we're going to cover that today. Stacy D.
What?
It's good to have you back. How is everything going?
Oh my God, I'm so glad to be back. First of all, JP.
Yes.
I didn't even text you. I called you yesterday and said, what are we focusing on? The question of the day is, and we decided on something else. Now you giving me something else.
No, this is it.
No, it was supposed to be an
That's the diagnosis. That's the question that goes with that diagnosis. We're still covering that diagnosis.
No,
I'm just not saying what the diagnosis is till we get to the segment.
Okay, well, couldn't you have told me that?
You already know that, Stacy D.
No, we didn't discuss that. And Sasha wasn't even up yet, so you can't even put that on Sasha. That's what happened when people get kids. Everything goes on their child. Oh, it was Sasha. Sasha messed up the homework.
No, we are going to cover the diagnosis that has all the symptoms of major depressive disorder, but it's not major depressive disorder. So yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've been missing you guys, and I've been gone for 2 weeks. The first week I wasn't here because my granddaughter, my honey drop, she made it to dance finals. Boy, she's bad at 10 years old. I felt really good that I see where my money goes. So, and plus, we just had fun down in Florida. And then when I was in Florida, I had a major death in my family. Come back Tuesday morning, and then I'm still asleep because I didn't get in till 1 and didn't wake up till like 3. And then I heard about my favorite. Now, mind you, I already had a major death in my family, like very, very major. And then my favorite nephew died at 27 years old. He had a real bad seizure. So yeah, my heart just, please continue to keep our family in your prayers and thoughts, because it was something very difficult. He just had he had seizure. He's always had a seizure disorder. And this time he couldn't breathe. And yes.
Stacy D, I am so sorry to hear that. I knew about the first loss that you and your family experienced. I didn't know about this young man passing away. So I am so sorry to hear that. You've been through a lot, D.
Yeah, I've been through a lot. But
you sick.
And I'm sick. I think that's some of the reason. Remember, we talked about that, about your mind can come out into your body. And I think because I was trying to be so strong for other people, that I think some of my sickness came out and I wasn't able to grieve because I was trying to be the strong one.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to take a little break. You're gonna have to
Still waiting on the Cheesecake Factory.
What?
Still waiting on the Cheesecake Factory.
Me too. I wasn't one canceling.
Okay, y'all. I got something real funny. So, y'all, Joe and I have this friend, our real close friend, because it's like 4 of us that always kick it with each other.
We kick.
And I have also talked about her several times. She's the one that has the road rage until somebody rage back at her.
Then she's road calm.
All the way calm. Okay, so she's like really, really bored and help me because when I first got Sire, I was so in love with Sire that I used to get his hair dyed and things, just get him a little punk rock. I wish we could bring up the pictures and stuff on here. We got to do that. Let's check on that, Mr. Walker. Can we bring pictures and show pictures? So I used to get his hair like dyed blue, his tail dyed blue, and right up here in the middle, it'll be dyed blue. Just something to make my mouth teeth be like, he's Stacy D's dog. You know how that is. Okay. They done took it to a whole nother level. They done made the dog look like a giraffe. Our friend has a dog. She has, what is it? Something, what's Cooper?
Obama's dog.
Yeah, it's an Obama dog.
I don't know what the official name is. It's just Obama's dog.
The Obama dog. That's how he got famous. And he is a giraffe now.
And look just like one. Like in the picture, I didn't even know, I didn't know people can dye and do designs on dogs. I never even, is that even
I did that 10 years ago with Sire. He would go to the beauty shop with me and get dyed up.
Okay, so this does not harm the dog's skin or anything?
We don't know.
Well, Sire is about 40 years old, so apparently not.
She's just fine.
He survived. When I saw that picture of that dog looking just like a giraffe, because I had just watched the Westminster dog show and seen dogs that looked like they was from other planets. I'm talking dogs that I was like, is that a real dog? And so
they're doing that now?
It was last weekend. These were real dogs, like breeds, but there are so many breeds. And some of them look really, really kind of like strange. Like, where did that alien dog come from? So when I saw this giraffe looking dog, I was like, because I didn't remember, I don't think I had seen pictures of the dog before. So I was seriously showing her baby. Like, why did I think that dog really like came out of his mama looking like that? That's all dye. And how long does it last?
Mine lasts like a month and a half. It used to last a month and a half. But do you know how expensive that is?
Oh, it looked real expensive.
It's probably over $100. We could have went to Cheesecake Factory, Ashton.
Let me tell you, Mr. Walker knows how to pull pictures up on here. I wish we could, because listeners, you are not even ready for how this dog.
See, can you text it to him and he can pull it up so everybody can see? Mr. Walker. Yeah.
Mr. Walker don't like talking on the air. You know he don't like talking on the air.
He has a whole radio show. If we text a picture to you, can you put it up on the air?
Yeah, send it on Facebook.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Mr. Walker.
Okay, now we can hear you.
We want to hear you, Mr. Walker.
Do it, Gerald, do it.
I don't have my phone. Can you send it? The listeners need to see what can be done to a dog, because I did not know that people can do these types of things to their dogs.
It's not right.
Yeah. While Stacy D is sending that to Mr. Walker, let's get to mental health and illness in the news. Two really positive stories. One is Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott, has donated $8 billion to charities in less than a year.
Wow, that's good.
This is money donated to hundreds of charities focusing on racial discrimination, the arts, and etc. Like, now, this woman, I had no idea. She's worth $59 billion. And apparently she had made a pledge, a promise that she was going to donate a lot of her wealth to charities. And so this is amazing.
Can you tell me some of the charities she donated to?
No, it said it's hundreds of charities. It's $8 billion in less than a year, I think since January. That's unbelievable. Like, when you think about not 8 million, 8 billion, wouldn't it be wonderful to be in the position to be able to give away $8 billion?
Yes.
I just want to be able to give away $8 billion. Okay, this is a lot of money. And her current husband is a Seattle school teacher. Now, this is what I thought was a little interesting. Have you seen the current husband? He looks just like Jeff Bezos. The woman knows what she like. Anyway, neither here nor there. $8 billion. This is absolutely wonderful. Now, also, I have a little question for this other mental health and illness in the news story. I was going to cover something else, but I'm going to wait and cover this story. Stacy D, have you heard of a show called Smothered? It's Mothered with an S in the front.
You know, I don't watch that much TV.
Okay, well, you do have daughters, and so I want you to listen to this here. There's this show, because, you know, my wife Nadine, she be watching all kind of reality TV shows, and I don't know what I'm gonna see when I walk in the room, but I'm gonna tell you what I saw when I walk in the room this day. This is a show about the bond between mothers and daughters.
Ooh.
Now, here, as a mother who has daughters, I'm gonna go through a list of some of what I saw when I walked in the room that day, and you let me know if you and your daughters have this kind of a bond, because this is intense. We're about to go into intense bonding right now, Stacy G.
Okay, girls, be listening.
They need to be listening.
They need to be listening.
One mother and daughter share bath water.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can stop it right there, because I don't think Stacy D and her gals do that. Wait a minute. Do you know women can get really, really No.
The mother takes a bath, or the daughter, and they don't care who go first. And then when she gets out, the daughter gets in. Now, these are not poor people. Okay, this is not to say money. That's the bond. They want to share that water.
Okay. Time out. Now, when my daughters were little, we did used to take a bath together.
No, these are
like little bitty babies.
Stacy D.
These are grown women.
These heifers are grown, fully grown.
But
Okay.
grown women smells and phones.
Yeah. Okay. But you and your daughters, y'all don't do. Okay, let's move on to the next.
That.
Another mother and daughter. They chased each other around the room, licking each other's faces, and then drowning each other in kisses.
Okay. We can do part of that.
The licking faces part?
The kisses, yeah. I do that to my daughters a lot, especially if I haven't seen them in like a week or so.
The kisses or the licking their face?
The kisses.
I'm finna say, they don't have on makeup. Why are you licking the makeup off of their face, Stacy D?
I said kisses. I would give them a whole lot of kisses. And my granddaughter, she loves doing that, which she probably got it from me. But
okay.
First of all, I'm not gonna chase you around nowhere because I'm like senior citizen age. I might fall. I'm a fall risk.
The knees can't handle all that anymore.
For real. And y'all know I'm self-employed. If I don't work, I don't eat.
Right.
And we see. I love to eat.
Don't we all? Okay, here's the next one.
Let me hear the
next scene. There is a daughter who her and her wife have been trying to do artificial insemination and has not been successful. The spouse is wanting to hold off. She's not wanting to hold off. And so she had her mother secretly inseminate her. The sperm from the donor showed up, and they went in the bedroom. She laid back and spread eagle, and the mother inseminated her, and the spouse is totally unaware. Yeah. Next scene. Oh, you got something to say about that one?
Stop. Hold on.
Because it gets worse.
No, this is something that came out of Shameless. Did you watch Shameless? I like Shameless.
Don't make me admit to watching no Shameless on like the radio. I refuse. I am not going to confirm or deny watching Shameless. But what are you about to say about it?
No, that's what happened on Shameless. That's how they got the twins. Her mother carried the babies.
Not that I know, but okay.
Yeah, he don't know.
I don't know about V and them babies. Okay. Here's the next one. And this is a Black mother and daughter. Okay. They wax each other's personals.
I could do that with my daughter.
Really? That is really knowing your daughter. Like, and they showed them laid on the bed, spread eagle with all the business. They didn't show the business, but yes, waxing each other. Here is the mental health issue behind this, is because it's interesting entertainment. The problem is some of these are not only children, they have siblings, and the siblings, there is no doubt or question that favoritism and a preference is being shown for the child that the enmeshed relationship is with.
Please say that again. An enmeshed relationship.
Yes, this is enmeshment on like a whole other clinical level. And as I was watching the show, I was just watching it and it was really entertaining. And I'm like, oh, ooh, what? And every episode is like wilder and more ridiculous than the previous. But then once I saw that there were other children, and to hear those kids talk about knowing that their mother loves that one child, because in all of these, different families, it's one mother and their daughter. It's not, they don't do these things with all of their kids, just that one. And I felt bad for those siblings, knowing that the mother loves their sibling more than them. And these people are so enmeshed to the point that if the mother were to pass away, I wonder if these daughters would be able to survive that. Out of all of them, there was only one where clinically it kind of made sense. The mother had health issues and severe illness and some near-death experiences, that the anxiety from that can kick a kid into that level of attachment and enmeshment. She's planning to give her mother a kidney, and like if she calls her mother and she don't answer the phone, she'll drive to her house. It's like over an hour away.
I did that to my mother. When I bought my house, I told my
Mhm.
realtor I have to be able to get to my mother in 15 minutes or I don't want the house.
And exactly. And I was feeling like, well, they probably shouldn't be on this show that is displaying.
Because it's not smothered. It's not
Yeah,
smothered.
that it made sense.
That one's natural.
That is a natural level of anxiety that she has, an attachment that she has, because she lives every day worrying that, you know, her mother isn't going to be around. And so anyway, that's mental health and illness in the news. Stacy D, you got daughters. I was just wondering, you know, what all, you know, you thought was within a range of normalcy and what was not.
And you got it. Okay. We got the dog. Okay.
Oh, really? Let's see. Oh, so the listeners can see it.
But we just can't.
Okay. Y'all can't even handle what y'all looking at right now. Like,
it's a real dog.
When did people start doing this to dogs?
Hey.
Let me tell you, I think that probably costs more than $100. I'm thinking that's a $200 or $300 hairdo right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because the dog has a.
That's what she said. She said it was her car payment. It was as much as her car payment.
And she drives a BMW, y'all. She drives a BMW.
Yes, she does.
And it ain't an old one.
Not at all. We don't do that.
So that's how much. But you're saying that it lasts for like a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine did 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because if you spending a Beamer payment on a dog's hairdo, on a dog's do.
I just wonder how could they get them to stay still that long, you know? Because I used to be there when I would get Sarah, because Sarah went to the beauty shop with me. So my beautician would just dye his mohawk, would give him a mohawk in his tail. And it was like heck trying to get him to sit still and keep the bleach on him. It was really, it was a lot.
Your regular beautician would do that?
Yes.
Wow.
My stylist, yes.
She know what she doing. All right, Mr. Walker, thanks for putting up. That is a whole new look. Yes, for an Obama dog. Let me tell you, I bet Obama's dog ain't ever looked like that.
I don't think so.
Because Michelle would have been like, hold up.
The dog is going to have some identity issues.
Yes, we could diagnose that dog. When that dog looked in the mirror, this is a story that I told. Let me share this with the listeners. I already shared this with y'all, Stacy. When we were in Tennessee, my niece painted Sasha's toenails. She had never had her toenails painted. Okay. She painted my baby's toenails while my baby was asleep. When my baby woke up and when she looked at her toes, she was like, And she immediately started crying. Like, what happened to my toes? Who did what? What's wrong with my toes? And I was Sashi, honey, you're not in pain. Like you crying like you hurting somewhere. That's
She just couldn't understand that.
When that dog looked in the mirror, you know that dog started crying when the dog looked in the mirror, like, arr, arr, arr. The dog is like, who is that? Who that fool in this house? The dog, you know, the dog attacked the mirror because the dog didn't know who he got in the house. Like, what is that? Who is? Arr. Okay, so woo. Okay, let's get to the question of the day. How can I have all of the symptoms of major depressive disorder but still not have the diagnosis? The other diagnosis that includes the symptoms of depression but is not depression is adjustment disorder with depressed mood. Let me explain adjustment disorders. One, everybody on the planet experiences adjustment disorders as a part of living life. An adjustment disorder is when something has happened, you have experienced, a loss, losing a job, relocating, marriage, divorce, anything can cause a person to experience adjustment disorder. So here are the symptoms of adjustment disorder is it will occur within 3 months of the event of whatever it is that has happened in your life that has kind of thrown you off kilter. That's all adjustment disorder is. And it usually subsides within 6 months, unless it's chronic. It can last longer because some people experience recurring negative life events. It's like, okay, first I lost my job. And so that kicked me into an adjustment disorder with depressed mood. And then I got an eviction notice. So then I had adjustment disorder with mixed depressed mood and anxiety because I'm about to be homeless, but it's hard to get a home when you don't have a job. Nobody's renting to the unemployed. And so when a person has ongoing stressors, life events, it just causes that adjustment disorder to extend beyond the 6 months. Okay. Now, a loss, because I myself had chronic adjustment disorder with depressed mood that was chronic, connected to and stemming from the loss of my mother. And so the technical diagnosis for when you are grieving the loss is bereavement. But that bereavement can cross over into adjustment disorder with depressed mood because you're having all the symptoms of depression. And we covered all those symptoms in the previous show. So here is something to think about because I wanted to normalize the adjustment disorders. But here, let's go down a list of the other adjustment disorders because listeners, you probably have experienced one or more of these. Every normal person does. So there is also...
And they're just life-changing events. They're really
it's a life event.
Events.
Yes, it's a life event. So there is adjustment disorder with depressed mood, which is what we, are talking about today. So if you met the criteria for the symptoms of depression, but it's connected to something that has happened to you, that's why it's adjustment disorder. Now, for those of you who have been having bouts with depression for years over the course of your life, that is clinical depression, which is major depressive disorder. The next adjustment disorder is adjustment disorder with anxiety. And that's when you're having symptoms of anxiety. For example, I have a client who's going to be teaching for the first time. He is experiencing a lot of anxiety, but it's because he's going to be teaching his first class. It's adjustment disorder with anxiety. The next one, adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depressed mood. And this is because anxiety and depression tend to frequently go hand in hand. Like, as I've said on the show before, they like two heathen cousins that shouldn't be hanging out with each other, but they love to hang out. And so a lot of They love to hang out. And so a lot of people will have the symptoms of depression and the symptoms of anxiety. The next one is adjustment disorder with disturbance of conduct. This is when a person has experienced something and their behavior is just different. And you can tell, like, okay, she or he is doing things that they just don't typically do. And a lot of times what makes family members aware of this is they're like, why do we keep getting cussed? This person never snaps, but like he's been snapping on people or she's been snapping on people. And so it's like, that's disturbance of conduct. A person's acting out of character, and the anger and the irritability, as we have said, can be some depression. Okay, so for that, it would be called adjustment disorder with mixed disturbance of emotions and conduct. And so they're having like either the anxiety or the depression or whatever, and their behavior is off kilter. And then there is adjustment disorder unspecified. And for that, that's when we know that our client has adjustment disorder, but the symptoms are kind of all over the place, and it's, you know, not enough to fit into one particular category. Then it's adjustment disorder unspecified. So those are the adjustment disorders. And another reason why this is important is because a lot of times people feel like, well, I don't want to go to therapy, and because people don't think I'm crazy, and therapy's for crazy people. The vast majority of people who come to therapy are coming in with an adjustment disorder. I would go so far as to say that 80 to 90% of my clients are coming in because of adjustment disorders. They are not crazy. They are experiencing life. They're going through.
Cheese.
Yeah, say that again, Stacy D.
Who moved my cheese?
It's like
kelp in my mouth.
Yeah, it ain't flew out yet. But these are people who are having relationship problems, parenting problems, work-related problems, problems with the neighbors, you know, anything that a person is struggling to cope with, and they may come to therapy and they just have an adjustment disorder. So keep that in mind. The vast majority of people coming to therapy just have an adjustment disorder. And another thing to attack that stigma that going to therapy means you're crazy is, and I think I've said this before, therapy doesn't typically work all that well with people who are what you would consider crazy, because they can't process well enough.
Exactly.
Their thoughts cannot grasp concepts. They can't do the cognitive therapy and different things like that. For people who are severely and persistently mentally ill, they get case management. And that's where Stacy D comes in.
They give shots, they give medicine. Hey, they give them a lot.
They get,
and
yes, thank you for.
They are in a locked facility.
Yes, thank you for covering that. That med maintenance, case management, they're not sitting in an office processing things. It's too upsetting. You know, if a person is like schizophrenic or having a severe diagnosis like that, it's too difficult for them to withstand actual therapy. They need their meds, they need case management, they might need supported living, you know, those types of services. All right.
Chemical imbalance.
Yes. So that is our question of the day. Stacy D, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you hit everything right on the head. So I've got a question. Because you know, JP is the what you call yourself? The diagnostician.
Diagnostician.
Diagnostician. Okay, so what would you say with this, Gerald? This happened when I was in college. So we're going, okay, so we woke up late for class.
I'm finna say, now you ain't about to tell no hazing story, are you?
No. But tell me what this is, okay? We woke up late for class. It's the week of finals. Running late for class. Get ready to get in the car. We don't have no gas. So they go to the next door neighbor who had some gas in a gas can to put, for their lawnmower. So we're able to put the gas in the lawnmower. So the car starts up. And then guess what? It just stopped. So he got out the car and shot the car.
What? He shot the car?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of fool are we talking about?
It was in college. I was just there like, yeah, I feel like we really should shoot the car. He got out and shot the car. So,
diagnostically, that is impulse control disorder. Okay, that's a person that's a fool cannot control their impulses.
Yeah. Well, I really hate because I was the one that said it. I'm like, we need to shoot this car. He's like, I know. Pop. I'm like, okay, ridiculous. Can we just call a cab and get to class? I just want to go take my test. I just want to take my test.
That is so crazy. That was a person with for real impulse control. Okay.
Yeah. Or he was showing out for me. I don't know which one it was.
That is not the way to get a date. Okay. No. Just ask Stacy D, can I take you out on a date, Stacy D? I'm taking you to class. I done shot my damn car. Like, can we go out for dinner? Yeah. Okay. You ain't got to shoot your car to show off.
It was funny to me. I was just like, so are you going to call me a cab so I can get to class?
He wants you to go out with him in that shot up car.
No, that was a negative. That was a negative. So everyone, do you see that I have a new hair? I have new hair. You want to know what her name is? It's Jacqueline.
She's short and sassy.
So believe it or not, you guys, we actually have time for modern parent. So our modern parent question, it came to my email like 3 weeks ago. And basically it was like, all 4 of my children have failed school this year. They have enrolled them. They was doing
online
virtual learning. They have enrolled them in summer school. My house is a mess. I can't keep any food in my house. And so now you mean to tell me I have 2 more months of this? Help, Stacy, help.
That's a lot. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Stacy D?
Believe it or not, I think this is some of the part of adjustment disorder. Adjusting to our temporary way of living. And I'm sure that she had boundaries on food. She had boundaries on homework. And she was working at home, which this once again goes back to one of our earlier shows when we had on there, how am I working at home and my kids are failing?
Right. Yeah, I can see that. The kids, if they do not typically have failing grades, clearly that was adjustment disorder, struggling to adjust to the pandemic and being homeschooled, doing virtual learning. It was difficult to adjust to. And really the parent, because a lot of parents have experienced adjustment disorder, like it was not easy for a lot of people to be at home for a year and a half. And so her and the kids are probably having adjustment disorder, the disturbance of conduct because they failed to perform academically. I don't understand what's going on about the food, because if you home all the time, that's how I gained all this pandemic weight. You home with the food.
Well,
That's why they was eating.
We had rules in my house. We had food you could eat and food that you cannot eat. She's saying that they were just eating up everything, that they forgot about the rules that were set.
Yeah, and some good rules. I'm glad you mentioned this. Some good rules around food is you got to set some parameters on the junk food. You that's what it is. She probably let them go all ham with chips and Zuzus and Wham Whams. They was like eating Doritos all day. These kids were greasy and sticky. But here's the thing. We were cooped up for about a year and a half. Why does she keep buying bad food? She's buying the food. The kids are broke. Are they not broke?
That's just like my 600-pound life. When I get on the scale and I feel bad, I watch 600-pound life. And that's exactly what the doctor tell them. They could
stop buying the food.
Stop buying the bad food. Stop giving them the bad food. But I do understand about her having, you should have snacks at the home. Yes. But so guess what they had started doing? And she said she never had this problem. They started sneaking food. And she said she never have had that problem.
Then she should have stopped buying it all together. Let me tell you,
might want to eat some of it too.
She don't need all that either.
Hold on a minute. If I have to be on punishment because you're on punishment, it's about to get bad up in here. It's about to get bad.
Okay, I can agree with that. Why didn't she take her junk food and put it in her room then? Why?
No, I'm not doing nothing like that.
If the kids are gonna eat it up,
eat that food.
If the kids
asked, did she want to bring them to Stacy D boot camp?
Here's something she could have tried. Last week on the show, sitting in for Stacy D was our girl Terry Mason.
What's up, T?
Did she hold it down for you all right, Stacy?
Did a great job. I enjoy watching both of them.
She held it down.
Yes, she did.
This is what Terry used to do.
And her hair was pretty. Terry, what was her name?
Her hair's name? Crescentia. I just named her hair. I don't know what the hair
I see that. She's.
But I will name somebody's hair.
She gonna get you in the chat.
I'll name somebody's hair in a minute. Okay. This is what Terry used to do, which worked amazingly well. Terry would go to the store and buy all her kids' snacks, and she would let them eat their snacks at will whenever they wanted to. What she would do, though, is she would buy snacks for a certain period of time. And so her approach was, you can eat all your snacks in one day if you want to, but
I don't have any more.
That's
natural consequence.
Yes, that's 2 weeks worth of snacks. Eat them all in a day. If you want, I am not going to the store and buy more snacks for 2 weeks. And what I noticed with her kids, because anytime I would show up at Terry's house, the kids would always have plenty of snacks. They would always offer me snacks. You want some snacks? Yeah. They would offer their snacks, and I'm like,
did they have stuff Tootsie Rolls?
They had whatever. Let me tell you, she would buy like snack cakes and stuff like that. Well, what ended up happening is they would compete to see who could stretch their snacks out the longest.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Yes. So instead of eating them all up in a day, they would see, because whoever would run out of snacks first would have to watch the other kids still eat snacks. And they didn't like that. It was like, oh, can I please have a donut? No, these are mine. Where are your donuts? You know I ate my donut. These are mine. Yes, but they would do so well at pacing themselves that they were able to be like,
that's good
"Girl, you want
self-control.
some snacks? You want some? I got some good stuff." I'm like, why do you still have snacks? So that is one approach that a parent could take. I I didn't really take that approach myself. My boys had a snack cabinet and they had their shelves. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
it was a little bit of an honor system, like these are your snacks, these are your snacks, these are your snacks. And we really didn't have a whole lot of I guess I did kind of do what Terry did because I was not replacing snacks if they ate them up real quick. It's like these are your snacks until I go back to the store. So if you run out, so be it. Another thing that a parent can do is try to balance the healthy food with the unhealthy food. So this parent, hopefully, when she watches the show, if she's not watching right now.
And that's what she told me. She was like, they have forgotten about the good food and the bad food. Like when they come home from school, they can eat an apple or an orange or things of that nature. That they didn't just went that all out the door and they're just eating all bad. And they got the apples and oranges and bananas still staying there because they're doing all the, and which is really weird because mama's at home. When she's away, you do right. Now she's at home and you just clown. But I
Right.
guess that's come from the part what she was telling me about that they're sneaking food.
Yeah. And to get them to eat the fruit, what I did with fruit and cereal, because I am a cereal lover and I buy all the bad cereals that my mama would never buy. This is what happened when you deprive your kids of sweet cereal. They end up like me.
I couldn't eat
With
candy.
I would
love a Snicker and a chocolate payday.
I be having about 12, 14 boxes of cereal up in this house. I'm talking dank gum, crunch berries, cocoa puffs, fruity pebbles, everything. And so this is what I would do because I gotta have it. Because all my mama would buy is golden grams.
Cornflakes, raisin bran, and those tricks, not tricks, but what are, if it was a riff, they was like, what was
Which
it
one?
that you could make a mix with it? Come on, Mr. Walker, you know what I'm talking about.
You got something better than what we would get.
No, because you can make a mix. Checks, yeah.
Oh, checks. Yeah. Checks. We had checks. Our only sweet cereals were golden grams and honeycomb, which was very low in sugar. And that's my mama's version. And she's like, you want something sweet, you better get that raisin bran out and get them raisins. And this before they had the crunchy raisin bran they have now. This is back in the day
old school raisin bran.
When it would get soggy like that. And so
put a little bit of milk in it and eat it half dry to get a crunch.
Yes. Because them flakes
they don't know about the struggle.
They don't know. They don't
know about the struggle we have with food. That might be some of the reasons why I have food problems now.
I'm sitting here greasy right now. You talking to somebody who's greasy right now. Okay, so this is what I would do with the kids. For every box of wonderful sweet cereal like Crunch Berries I would buy a box of healthy cereal. And I would tell them, I'm not buying more sweet cereal until y'all eat all of the healthy cereal too. So y'all can eat all that sweet cereal up first if you want to. I'm not buying more of the good stuff until you eat the healthy stuff. And did the same thing with the fruit. It's like y'all got snacks, y'all got fruit. I am not buying more chips and crap until all this fruit is gone. Don't play with me. You better eat a grape. Shove that apple down your throat. So she can do that. You know, something to note, really, because we almost out of time, is that since we're talking about food issues and everything during the pandemic, 44% of the American population gained 29 pounds during the pandemic. So her kids were not the only ones eating Zuzus and Wham Whams. A lot of people, myself, I gained a lot of weight during that pandemic because you're at home.
His face is real round.
Yeah. Stacy D. Don't be talking about my weight gain, okay?
Girl, we seen it though.
I'm trying to pull it together. And so last week was my first week returning to the gym. And what the experts were saying, which is the same thing that I have been doing, is don't go to the extreme and do these extreme diets. Just return to your previous exercise regimen.
Do the extreme diet.
Oh, I have done extreme diets in the past. Yes. Oh, we're not even going to talk about that.
You and Nadine.
We're not getting into eating disorder diets, okay? And Terry.
Terry don't believe in those diets.
Me and Terry lost 30 pounds in 30 days on an extreme diet. Yes, I was literally eating about 400 calories a day. So we ain't gonna talk about extreme diet.
I know you wasn't going to the gym.
And was working out and almost passing out.
Exactly.
Because I was starving. And so do not do those things, people. People, do not do those things. Just return to your previous workout regimen that you were doing before the pandemic. And because you're automatically doing more, you will start losing weight, and it won't be something extreme that you won't be able to maintain for the rest of your life. And go back to eating how you were eating before the pandemic. Your energy level, your exercise, your movement is going to be increased because we're naturally starting to get out more. So they're saying do not go to the opposite extreme to get rid of this 30 pounds that you gained during the pandemic. Go back to living how you were living.
I actually was able to maintain my weight until my doctor started giving me steroid shots.
Oh, so that's what did it?
That's what did it. But also, I like to say, hey to Nadine. She was on the chat. And my little brother, Joe, thank you for watching. Because, you know, I was about to get on you because I haven't seen you on here in a couple of weeks. So I'm glad he's back here watching us. I love you, bro.
And thank you, Stacy D, for monitoring the chat. I don't even know where I can't monitor the chat. We need to talk about getting back in the studio, though, because we having too many bloopers with remote broadcast.
Mr. Walker. And then he gonna bring the professor in. And what was he doing? Nothing.
She's coming after the professor.
Food jam, Professor Rick.
She's coming after the professor. Okay, one more quick announcement. Because the show is only on once a week for an hour, Stacy D and I now have a YouTube channel for the overflow from the radio show. And so different topics and commentary on things that we do not have time for on the show, look out for those videos because that is where we will be addressing